Hello everyone. Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening. Am I audible properly?
Yes, you
Yes.
Okay. Let me know if you guys have any doubt. You said that you guys will revise all the things in weekends, right? So anyone have any doubts? Okay, I think no doubts, right? I have given you the assignments. How many of you have completed that? Okay, Gaurav, it's done. Fine. Anyone else? No one has done that?
Yeah, I have gone through all the questions.
Okay, all the questions. Fine. So today I will share my email ID, or else I'll ask to the host if they can share directly to me all of your assignments. So everyone have written the assignments, right? So I will take this. Today I will ask to the host, and tomorrow you everyone have to send these assignments to either to my email ID, either to host email ID. Okay.
Sure.
Fine. So let's discuss few things. If you already have done these assignments, you know what is IP address and how many classes of IP address are there, right? So let me know one answer, like what is the difference between IPv4 and IPv6? What's the difference between these two? I haven't shared my screen.
PV4 is like a 32-bit address, whereas the IPv6 is 128-bit address, I think.
Yes. Okay. So basically, IPv4 having the 32 bits and IPv6 have 128 bits, right? So basically, IPv4 have few classes, right? Class A, Class B, and Class C, like that. So I'm not going to like discuss these things in depth. Whatever it's needed for the VPC, I am simply explaining you. Okay, and this is your assignment, so you must have to complete. If you not have completed yet, you have one more day. So like till tomorrow classes, right? So I will let you know how to send the assignments, okay, in tomorrow's sessions. Then you can share it to me, so you have one more day to complete these assignments. Fine. So before this, let's discuss few things like what is IP address, what is subnets, what is CIDR range. Okay, so here everyone know that what is IP address, right? So in the normal terms, if we will see, IP address is nothing but it's an identity of the appliance, or it's the identity of the server, right? Just like that like you have your phone, you have your laptop. Okay, so how the internet can identify your server, or how the internet can identify your phone or something, right? So using this IP address, just like our identity is our name, server identity is IP address. Fine. So here, if you will see this IP address, it's a unique identity. Okay, basically it should be unique um, over the world, right? So basically, if you will see, it's having 32 bits. It means that it can change 32 bits only, and it can make limited number of IP address. And nowadays, if you have seen that even like one person have multiple electronic devices, and each will have its own IP address, unique IP address, right? So how it is possible to have n number of IP address? Because we have n number, like we have n number of appliances, right? Your phone have the different IP address, your laptop have the different IP address, your tab have the different IP address, right? So how it is possible? Because it's a 32 bits IP address only. So we can have only like the minimum the lowest IP address that we can give, that is this 0.0. and then the highest one, that is 255. So in between this, I haven't calculated a number, I haven't remembered, okay. But you can change it. It's like first this bit you can change 1 2 3 till 255. Again, then you can change this to till 255. Then you can change this to 255, like that, okay. But after this also you have multiple like numbers of IP address. If you want to calculate, you can calculate it properly, okay. So basically here, if you will see, you have a limited number of IP addresses, but we need multiple servers. As of now, also we will have multiple servers, right? So because of that reason only, we have one concept here that is called subnetting. Okay, subnetting, and before that, you have to understand first CIDR range. Subnetting is simply a process. It's a way to assign the IP address to your server. Okay, so it's a method how you are assigning the IP address to your servers. So here we will discuss about the VPC. We will discuss about some networks and all. Just assume that in your home you want to like you want to purchase 2 3 laptops and few phones and all, right? So all of those device, what you want to have a common IP address for these. Common, it doesn't mean that the same IP address. Like it should belongs to a proper sequence, or like just assume that you want 5 IP address for your servers. Okay, so what you want, you will do the subnetting and you will book a range of IP address. Okay, like which will contain 5 or 6 IP address. Okay, so if you want 10 IP address, that time it will have one range of IP address. So whenever you will use your like whenever you will have any appliances, any servers, the IP address will be assigned to that particular servers from this IP range only. Okay, so that we will call that range of IP address, we will call that as a CIDR range. Okay, so here it's nothing but it's a CIDR range. If you will have this is nothing but the range of IP address. So basically we can just assume that if you want only 5 IP address, right? So in that case you can provide the range like 0, and then you can provide it like 0.0.5. It's like that. Okay, so first one is 0, then second one is 1, third one is 2, like that. Okay, so basically if you want IP address like this, basically we need to whenever we'll create our own network, at that time we need to assign some IP address range, and that's called CIDR range. Okay, so there are multiple options how you can create the CIDR range according to the host, according to the network, as I already have told, right? So I'm going to explain you how we will define it according to host. According to host, it means that how many servers you want, how many IP address you want. If you want 20 IP address, right? At that time, how which CIDR range you have to select. That's the like that is called the subnetting. That's the calculations. Okay, so you can check the calculations in YouTube, as well as we also have some websites where we can calculate our subnets and CIDR range. Okay, and that is totally maths things, and if you are more interested in maths, then it's very good for you. And if you are not, then basically it will be a bit difficult for you how it's calculating and all, because there is multiple that multiplications, divisions, addition, everything is there. Okay, so you have to see that how to do the subnetting according to host, and host means how many servers actually you want in your network. Next thing is that according to network, means just assume that you want a big network, and that big network also you want to divide it into small pieces, like multiple networks you want to divide it. Okay, so at that time you want one network, and within that you want 3 network or 4 networks. So according to that also you can do the subnetting, and within that small network, how many hosts you want, like how many servers you want. So according to that also you can do the subnetting. Okay, so basically as of now what we required for this. Okay, so basically we required which CIDR range which we have to select, right? And which here we have some VPC subnets. We'll see the concept, and then I will let you know few things there. Okay, so one more thing I have to explain here, that we have few classes of IP address and how you will get to know that subnetting is there or not, right? So basically we will take one example like 10.0.0. So here, always whenever you have seen the security group, when we have created and when we have logged in with the security group, right? When we were enabling the port for the security group, we were giving some sources like this, right? After forward slash, either it was 16, either it was 24, 28, and 18, 19, anything would be there, but that would in be in the same format, like forward slash, and then we'll have some numbers here. Okay, it means that this is a CIDR range. So CIDR range always look like this. Okay, so here we have some classes of IP address. If you will give here the 8, it means that it's a class A. If you will give here the 16, that is class B. And if it you will give here the 24, it's class C. Okay, and directly if you will give 32, it comes under the class D or something. I'm not sure about this. Okay, but how will calculate the number of IP address from this CIDR range, right? Just assume that you have the CIDR range, this one. Okay, it's a static IP, like it's a one IP address. The number can be anything. Okay, and this is the specific, this is the CIDR range, how many IPs you can have, you can calculate using this particular forward slash 32 or 28, whatever number you will give here. Okay, so as we know that our total number of bits here for this IPv4, we have that is 32. Okay, so whenever you want to calculate the number of IP address, you must have to calculate it like this only. Okay, so whatever total number of bits is 32, and whatever number is provided here in the CIDR range, that you have to subtract. Okay, so now it's equal to 0. So whenever you will get like this, and then you have to give 2 to the power 0. Okay, 0, it means that it's equal to 1. And now, if your CIDR range will have 32 after this forward slash, at that time, here it will be only one IP address you can have for this particular CIDR range. Okay, it doesn't matter what which classes IP it is and what's the IP address it's written here. Okay, so only the IP address will be here, that is 10.0.0.0. Okay, next, if you will be having here 10.0.0 forward slash 28, just assume that it's 28. Okay, so at that time, what we will do, how we'll calculate 32 minus 28, what's this? 4, right? So then you have to calculate 2 to the power 4, and you know that 2 to the power 4 equal to, I think, 64, right? Sorry. Okay, so total number of IP addresses, it's 64. Fine, so like this you will calculate the number of IP address from the CIDR range. Next thing, one more thing is there, I will let you know few things. If we have few classes of IP address and some specific range of CIDR range, right? So sorry, specific, this suffix, you will have the specific one. So let's see, if it's 32, then just leave it. You cannot change any of these bits. Okay, you cannot change any bit if you are using if you have 32. Okay, and if you have here 24, then you can change one bit. It means that the IP address, when you will write when you will start to write, you will first assign the IP address, that is point 0, and then 10.0.0, sorry, point 1, like this only, point 2, point 3, point 4, and then again it will change the second octet, and then third octet. Okay, so it's like that. So basically, it will change only the first octet if you will use this. Sorry, only the fourth one if you will give this 24. Okay, and the second thing is that if you will give here the 10.0.0 forward slash 16, at that time it will change 2 octet. Okay, so why we will call it a octet, you know that because each of the like after each point we will have 8 bits, right? That's why we call it as octet. So here if you will see here, after 16, like if it's 16, it means that we only always can change here the 2 bits, and if it will be 8 we can change this 3 bits. Okay, 3 octets, sorry. Fine. So this is how we can find the number of IP address. So mostly in interview they can ask the questions how you can calculate. They can provide one CIDR range, and they can ask you how many IP address you can have if you have this CIDR range. Okay, that's the question. Subnetting, they will mostly ask the questions if they are mostly like mentioned in their JD, that networking things and all, right, that time. Otherwise we can calculate all of these things using the websites. Okay, so basically we have one website here. It's what's its name, I think something. Okay, IP address guide.com, then CIDR. Okay, so how you will calculate it? See, if you have a specific CIDR range, let's give the here the 16 and let's calculate it. When you will calculate it, it will provide you all the IP addresses here. Okay, first IP is this, and the last IP is this. So in between this you can have any IP addresses. Okay, so basically here it will show like this. From IP address, if you want to like get the CIDR range, just assume that you don't want 255, you only want till 8. Okay, let's calculate it. So when you will calculate it, it will give you the CIDR range here. Okay, either you can use this CIDR range, either you can use this CIDR range, it's saying. Okay, so basically this is the CIDR range which will provide you only the one IP address. Okay, and this will be the CIDR range if it's 29, right? So 30, 31, 32, 3. Okay, 2 to the power 3. So 8 IP address you will get. This is how it will calculate. Okay, so you can use this to calculate your IP address and CIDR range. Clear? One more thing is there, subnetting, and like from CIDR range we will create the subnets, and for that also we need CIDR range. We will discuss that later. Okay, so let me open first the PPT notes first. Okay, fine. So here we have few things. Okay, so for this also I have some handwritten notes, we will discuss from there also. Okay, so first of all let's see this first. Okay, so VPC stand for virtual private cloud in AWS. Fine. So here if you will see, like we already have created multiple servers and all on on our AWS account, right? So now when you have created your EC2 instance, just assume that if your AWS cloud is public, right? So at that time anyone can access your AWS like your EC2 instance from anywhere, right? If they will have the IP address and they will have your key or password, they can anyone can access it, right? Then where is the privacy, right? So it's not that much secure, then it's not private then, right? Like there is no privacy, there is no security for your EC2 instance, right? But it's totally depends on you how you want to like whether you want to make your EC2 instance public or private. Fine. So this is few things we have. So your AWS always create your resources over your own private network. Okay, so basically AWS will not create all like all tenants and all users resources, all AWS accounts resources in same cloud. Okay, so we always like it will be always isolated. Fine. So it will be always virtually isolated networks you will get. So within that network, it's depends totally depends on you whether you want to make that public or whether you want to make that private. Okay, so here virtual private cloud is nothing but it's a private network where you if you will create any resources, that resources will be available only in between that network. Okay, totally you can say that it's a private cloud means nothing but the private network. Okay, so basically if you want to create some like infra for your aid for your for deployment of any applications, right? So in that case what you will do, you will create multiple servers, right? So you will not make all of those servers public. Few servers will be private, few servers will be public, right? So those things will manage. How we will manage those things? Using this service called virtual private cloud. Okay, so has complete control over your virtual network environments. So basically it's a private networks where you will create some resources. Okay, few resources we can make it public, few resources we can make it private. Fine. Next thing, we have some custom VPC and all. This is the like many things we have here, and you can read this PPT. But let's go with the handwritten notes. I think that will be better. The same thing it's written there, but here it's written in like a small points as well. I have mentioned. Okay, so VPC is a virtual network or data center inside AWS for one client. Fine. So this is simply the definition for VPC if you want. Okay, it's logically isolated from other virtual network in the AWS cloud. So it's not like that you only have created your infrastructures on AWS, like you only have your data center in on AWS. Like many peoples are using and hosting their infra on AWS, right? So basically it should be isolated. So this VPC is nothing but it will provide you one isolated environments, one isolated virtual network for your infra. Fine. Next thing we have, maximum 5 VPC can be created and 200 subnets in one VPC. So maximum in one region. Okay. VPC is a region specific service. So within one region, we can create 5 VPC, maximum 5 VPC. And within one VPC, we can create 200 subnets. So what is subnets? We will discuss that. Okay. So let's see, here we already have discussed what is VPC. So VPC is nothing but it's a big network, like it's a private network. Okay, so now here if you have a private network, so you just assume that you have deployed our application here. So now you don't want to give access for your servers and all, but few things you want to make public, right? So basically we will divide this big network into the small networks. Okay, and that small networks, like the part of these particular big network, we call that as a subnet. Okay, so your VPC, it's a big network, and the subnet is simply the part of that network. We'll divide that into multiple parts, and this is the part of that particular networks. Okay, so basically we can have 200, we can divide one VPC into 200 parts. It's like that. Okay, so we can have 200 subnets in within one VPC. Okay, so I already have told you, like for this private network we always allocate some CIDR range. Okay, CIDR range of IP address. So just assume that I'm giving here the CIDR range like this. Okay, so then if you are creating multiple subnetworks for this, subnet is just like the subnetwork. Okay, so if you are going to create the subnetwork for this, so you have to also divide the CIDR range, right? So how you will calculate that, right? So for that you have to simply search for few things. Let me show you few things. Okay, so that is one website is already there, AWS VPC subnet calculator. Here you will get, if you will give your own VPC CIDR range, it will provide you the subnet CIDR range as well. Okay, so this is one CIDR range. Let's see here. You have to give your CIDR range which you are deciding to give. So we are deciding to give here the CIDR range, that is 10.0./16. Here you have to give subnet net mask length, means how many subnets you want to create. Just assume that I want to create 20. So let's calculate it. So here is the 20 CIDR range is available, subnet range is available, which you can give for your for your subnets. Okay, these are the CIDR range which you can give for your subnets. So these many host means it can have. Okay, so each will have 4091 IP address. Fine. So it's like that. You can calculate it like this. Fine. You also can calculate it like if you want only two subnets, you can calculate it like this. Okay, value should be in between 8 to 29. So let's calculate it. So it's giving one subnet range, that is 8. So basically it will simply give you some specific was not successful. Okay. Fine. So you can provide few range of IP address, and then you can, sorry, how many subnets you want, and then you can calculate it. Okay. Fine. So this is how you can calculate your CIDR range for your subnets. So now understood what is VPC and what is subnet. Anyone have any doubts?
No.
So all the calculations we will be doing in this portal only, right?
You can do it from this portal. You also can learn the calculations if you are more interested in
So
maths. Okay.
learning the calculation is a next thing. Now we have to go in
Yes.
details and doing all the.
That's the networking things. Okay, like
Yeah.
if you will learn, see, if you want to learn it, that's the best option, like that's the best thing if you want to learn it. Okay, I will suggest like you can learn it. Fine. So basically, it's more about the maths and all. That's why I'm not teaching here. I'm simply saying you this is the options which you will use, and mostly the people will use these kind of options only to calculate the CIDR range and all, right? Because see, now if you will learn how to calculate and all, right, after some time you will also forget.
Yes.
Fine. So basically, this is a good way if you have
No,
these
but
options, right?
during
Mhm.
interview they will ask then what we will give the answer that time. Only that 2 to the power and like that, na simple
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That's in interview mostly, see, mostly they can ask the questions like how many IP address you will be having for this CIDR range. So that's calculation is very easy, right? But here the subnet calculation, like subnetting is bit difficult, it's bit complicated.
Right.
Okay, so basically they will give one IP address, and you have to first specify that IP address, like from which class of IP range like it belongs, right? So then you have to select that if it's from class C, the subnetting will be in different way. If it's in class B, the subnetting will be different way, right? So that you have to learn. If you want to learn it, you will get a like very good videos in YouTube. Okay, you can check that the subnet calculations and all. So those videos you will get in any of the CCNA playlist if you will check, right? So there you will get, mostly this topic comes under the CCNA, right? So you will get there. So if you want to search, you can check that. Fine.
Yes.
Okay, any questions, guys? Anyone have any other questions? Okay, no, right? So now let's go and move forward to our main topic. Now networking is done. So basically, this is all about your VPC and subnet definitions and introduction. Fine. And here we have this elastic IP and all we already have discussed, right? Elastic IP address is nothing but it's an static IP address which we always use to replace our public IP address, because that is not static, that is dynamic. Fine. That will change after whenever we will change our whenever we'll stop the service, it will that particular IP address will get changed, right? So elastic IP address work is different also. Okay, I will let you know. We will use in VPC this elastic IP address with the NAT gateway and all, right? So we will check that. Once we created a VPC, DSCP, NACL, and security group will be created. DSCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, like we will discuss this later. And NACL is also there, access control list. Okay, as well as the security group will be automatically created. So basically, when you will create a VPC, automatically these three four things will be created. I will explain you few more things, like it will create some routing table and routers and all, right? So we will discuss that as well. Okay, so a VPC is confined to on AWS region and does not extend between the region. It's a region specific service. Okay, once the VPC is created, you cannot change its CIDR block range. So whenever you are creating a VPC, because it's a private network, you have to provide some range of IP address. So whatever range of IP address you will provide, right? So your VPC, whenever you will create any of the servers, like if you are launching multiple EC2 instances in your VPC, right? So at that time, what the AWS will do, AWS will take the same range of IP address, like the IP address which falls in that range, it will assign the same IP to each of that particular like EC2 instances. Okay, so basically the CIDR range will give that so that we are booking that particular CIDR range, like booking that particular IP range, so that no one can use it. Okay, so that IP address range will be booked for you on your AWS account. And now what you will do, your whatever EC2 instances you will create, the same IP address it will it will simply allocate to each of the servers. Fine. So this is how your CIDR range work. So basically when you create a VPC, you will give the CIDR range. Okay, and that CIDR range you cannot change. If you want to change it, you have to create a new VPC. So few things are there. Now let's see the components of VPC. If you will see here, you can see the diagram from here. Okay, this is how your VPC will look like. You can have some two subnets are there. One is the VPC only subnets, means it's a private subnet and public subnet in one region itself. Okay, and here we have some web servers, database server, means it's a EC2 instance itself. Okay, then we have the router. Okay, and then we'll have the internet gateway and all. Okay, this is the different things. Okay, we will discuss this. It's a virtual gateway, VPN connections. This the different things itself. Okay, we will discuss that. That's the advanced thing. So basically, this is how your VPC will look like. You will have a router. You will have one internet gateway. Okay, that's here. It is not written. Okay, so here you can see if it's visible. Okay, fine. We will see all these components one by one. Then you will get to know everything. So basically CIDR range, IP address and subnets, which we already have discussed. Next, we need to see this implied router routing table. Then we will have the internet gateway, security groups, NACL, okay, virtual private gateway, peering connections, and elastic IP address. So basically these are, and one more thing is there, that VPC endpoint. So these are few components which we are going to learn and which we are going to discuss in VPC. Okay, and one more thing is there, VPN. Fine. So first of all, we need to understand first the VPC types and all. Okay. So here we have two types of VPC. One is the default VPC and one is the custom VPC. See, as of now, we not have created any VPC and all, right, and we already have learned the EC2. So now we have created multiple EC2 instances. What was like where it was created in the public cloud? No, it was created like it had created on your private cloud itself, like on your own VPC itself, right? So whenever you will create an account, your AWS will create one VPC in each of your region. Okay, like one VPC in Mumbai, one VPC in Tokyo. So each of the region will have one default VPC, and that default VPC will have internet connections by default. Okay, so that VPC which is which has been created by your AWS, which has many default settings and all. Okay, so that VPC we call that as a default VPC. So we will check that, and like don't delete your default VPC from your AWS account, okay? Because if you will delete it, you have to do many modifications, and then only you can create your VPC like default VPC. Okay, but always in real time, many organizations will delete this default VPC so that no one can use it. Okay, because this default VPC have all the public connections. So basically, when we have created our EC2 instance now, right, that time we have connected with the EC2 instance, right, and we were not facing any issues via the internet. We have connected with our EC2 instance, right, using the mobile extern we have connected to. So how we connected? Via internet, right? So your EC2 instance have internet connections and public access, then only we were able to connect with the EC2 instance. So this default VPC will have internet gateway. So what is this internet gateway? Internet gateway, it's a appliance, you can say that, which will allow your allow the request which comes from the internet to access its particular resources like EC2 instances and all will be there, right? So internet gateway will provide the internet connections. That's it. Fine. So default VPC will have the default CIDR range, default security group, default NACL, default route table settings, as well as it will also have the default internet gateway. Okay. Next we have the custom VPC. Custom VPC means the owner will create it. Like if I will create any VPC, that will be the custom VPC. Okay. So when you will create the custom VPC, the user who will create your VPC, he only decide the CIDR range. Okay. And for this default VPC, automatically the AWS have only decided it and AWS have assigned it. Okay. But for the custom VPC, you only have to give the CIDR range. Okay, and it has its own default security group. When we create our VPC, it will create security group, it will create NACL, and it will create route tables as well. Okay, so we will discuss what is router, what is route table. I think many people already know about this, but we will discuss it. Fine. So these are the default things you will get when you will create custom VPC, and does not have an internet gateway by default. One need to be added, one need to be created if needed. So here for the custom VPC, unlike your default VPC, it does not have the internet gateway. It means that whenever you will create a custom VPC, that will be totally private. It means that particular VPC will not have the internet connections. If you want to provide the internet connections, at that time you have to add one internet gateway by creating that internet gateway. Okay, you have to create one internet gateway and you have to attach it with the VPC to give the internet access, internet connections. Fine. So this is the your major difference between your custom VPC and your default VPC. Fine. Next thing is that you have the public subnet and private subnet. As I already have told you, that subnets are nothing but it's a sub network for your VPC. VPC is the big network and subnet is sub network. Okay. So we have divided our VPC into two parts. Okay. So just assume that I want to make one part as private and one part as public. One part as public means to one part I want to give internet access, and to one part I don't want to give internet access. Okay. So the part which will not have internet access, that will call private subnet, and the part which will have the internet access, that we will call it as a public subnet. Okay, so if your internet gateway, you will attach it with the VPC, but if you will provide internet connections to your subnet, so that subnet will be your public subnet, and if it's not there, it will be the private subnet. Okay, so in interview you can get the questions, what's the difference between public subnet and private subnet? There is only one difference, that is internet gateway. Internet gateway will be it's attached with public subnet, it's not attached with private subnet. Public subnet have internet connections because of internet gateway. Private subnet does not have internet connections. Fine. So this is the two things, public subnet and private subnets. Next few more things are there. So here, one more thing is there, that number of IP address which we have calculated, right? So in case of VPC, in case of VPC, if anyone will ask that number of IP address, so you will directly calculate it. See here, it has given 24, right? So what you will do, you will do the 32 minus 24, and then you will do 2 to the power 8, and then you will calculate the total number of IP address, right? But if anyone will ask the questions like, what's the total usable number of IP address? Okay, so at that time, usable IP address, you always need to do minus 5. Okay, so here I have given one range, that is 10.0.0 point forward slash 28. Okay, so for this the total number of IP address was 64, right? So if anyone will ask total number of IP address, you must have to say 64, which we already have calculated here, right? But if anyone will ask like how many usable IP address will have, at that time always do minus 5, because this 5 IP address is already booked for few specific tasks in VPC. Okay, so the first 4 IP address and the last 1 IP address, we cannot assign it to our EC2 instance and to our appliances, to our servers. Okay, why? Because the first network is reserved for network address, the second IP is reserved for VPC router, third IP is reserved for your DNS server, and the fourth IP it's reserved for the future use, and the last IP address that is reserved for the broadcast address. So basically, the 5 IP address is reserved for some specific task. That's why we cannot use that 5 IP address for our server. Clear? So if anyone will ask the questions, what's the usable number of IP address? Do the minus 5. Fine. Next, we need to discuss about the implied router and route table. Till that time, if you have any doubts, let me know. Anyone have any questions? Is it fast? Okay. Fine then. So next thing we need to understand about the router and route table. Fine. So do you know what is router? Anyone have any idea? I think mostly people know about what is router and all, right? Do you guys know about router?
Yes, for that internet connection, we are connected with the internet bus for the router.
Hmm. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, it is used to receive the data back.
Okay. So basically router work is to route the traffic. Okay, so what the router work is, it's to define the route from where the request is coming and to where the request it has to send. Okay, so it's just like it's router work like a post office, you can say that, right? So it will take the letter and it will send the letter where it has to be reached. Okay, so basically here router work is to route the traffic. Okay, so it will decide like from where the like if from anywhere the request is coming, right? So first thing router will see that this particular person have the privileges to send the request or not. Okay, that person is authorized to send the request or not. So all of those things the router will see, and then router will send the traffic, like send that request to the respective server, so that the server will give the response, means you will be able to access your application then. Okay, so just like if I will explain you in non-technical format, just assume that you have one tech park. Okay, so in that tech park, what you have multiple companies. Just assume that you have block A, in that block A, you have the company called TCS. It's a famous one, right? That's why I'm giving this example. And the block B you have, and the block B have the like the company that is Accenture. Okay, and block C is also there. That is your just say it, it's a Wipro. Fine. So basically, in one tech park, all these companies are there. Block A, there is TCS. Block B, there is Accenture. And Block C, there is Wipro. Okay. So always at the gate of your tech park, always there will be a guard, right? So just assume that the Accenture people's not, they are not allowed to go to the Block A, and this Block A, Block B, and Block C, these all are isolated. Okay, so what we'll have, we will have one router also, right? So just assume that now you have joined Accenture or Wipro, and now you are going, now you have went directly, you went to this tech park, right? So what you will do, if you want to go to the Wipro office, at that time you will ask to guard, right? Or you will show your ID card. So in your ID card, if there will be the mark of Wipro, like if your ID card will be from Wipro, at that time, what the guard will do, guard will say that you have to go to Block C. Okay, so here this guard will work like a router. If you are coming, like if you are the employee of Wipro, they will send you to Wipro block. If you are the employee of Accenture, they will send you to the Block B, because Accenture is there, right? Just like that, if you have the ID card, and like if you are the employee of TCS, they will send you to Block A, right? So basically, what the guards are saying here, the guards are saying here, like, you are the Wipro employee, like source is Wipro, right? So they will always send it to Block C. So Block C is the destination. It's like that. Okay, so basically here the guard is like a router. Okay, so they can't remember all of these things, like which like in which block which office is there, and this is only for the examples things I have given, right? But they will always have one register. In that register they will have all these informations: block A TCS, block B Accenture, block C Wipro. It's like that. Okay, where they will see the route. Okay, so they also should have some proper route, so that they can guide you to to go to that particular buildings, or to that block. Okay, so basically this register, we call that as a routing table. Okay, so here in routing tables, what the router will have, router will have that the source and destination. Okay, so here I have written exactly opposite. Okay, so we have source, we will have source and destination. Okay, so what we will do, we will say here in the source, if the request is coming from this particular IP address range. Okay, what I am saying, if the request is coming from this particular IP address range, at that time, in the destination we will define, send it to internet gateway. Okay, so basically if you will see here, it have the internet, send it to internet gateway. It means that this particular IP range people have the connections of internet gateway. They can, like if you have your servers with any of these IP address, at that time you can access my VPC via internet. Okay, it's like that. So you will always give here the source, means the source IP address you will provide, who can access it, and the destinations you will always provide the traffic where it should be routed. Okay, so this is the work of your router. So majorly what the router will do, it will route the traffic. And how it will route the traffic? In routing tables we'll have multiple entries. We will write source and destination. Like this we will define the path where to send it, right? So this is your route table and routing. So basically we have few things here. You can have up to 200 route table per VPC. Okay, in one VPC you can have 200 route table, and in one route table you can have 50 entries. Okay, route entries 50. It means that 50 source and destinations you can define. Each subnet must be associated with only one route table at any given time, because using the route table only we will define all the routes, and who can access your subnet, who cannot access your subnet, all of those things. Okay, so because of that reason, your one subnet can only belongs to, like, and can only associated with one route table. Okay, so here, if you do not specify a subnet to route table association, the subnet will be associated with the default VPC route table. So basically, when you create a custom VPC, at that time it will also create a route table. Okay, so automatically it will create one route table, and that route table will allow the local communication. Local communication means it will simply show you some like it will show the like entries like this. Okay, it means that within one VPC, even if your particular sorry even your server is available in any of your route sorry subnets and all, right? At that time also they can communicate with each other. Means within one VPC, each and every servers can communicate with each other. It this particular entries meaning is that, and this is the default entries you will get for every VPC, for every route table. If you will create a custom route table, there also you will get it. Because of this reason, in one VPC, each of the servers, each of the appliances can communicate with each other. Okay, so it's like that, and then here, mm, fine. So whenever we'll create a VPC, it will create one default route table, and if you will create any subnets and you will not attach it with any of the route table, or by default it will be attached with that main route table which the VPC has been created. Fine. You can also edit the main route table if you need, but you cannot delete main route table. But if you want to delete it, you can create a new route table, and then you can attach your subnets with that route table, and then you can delete the previous one. Okay. You can associate multiple subnets with the same route table. Okay. So one subnet can belongs to only one route table, but one route table can have multiple subnets. Fine. Next, we have to understand that is internet gateway. Internet gateway is nothing but it's a simply it's a virtual router that connects a VPC to internet. Fine. So default VPC already attached with the internet gateway, but if you want it for the custom VPC, you have to create one internet gateway. Then you have to attach it with VPC and ensure that your subnets route table points to the internet gateway. See, the first thing is that if you want to use, if you want to give internet gateway for your specific VPC, you have to create internet gateway, you have to attach it with VPC. After attaching with the VPC, you also have to define the route for it and route table, so that that subnet will get the path. Okay, and the router will get to know that this is the internet gateway. If the request will come from this source, then it has to route it to the particular location. Okay, so and then it has to route to the internet gateway. So here we always need to define a source. So if you want to access it from everywhere from, okay, so at that time you will give it 00, and at the destination you have to give internet gateway. So this you will only define for the route table, which is where your public subnets are associated. Okay. So here, if you will define this particular entries for your route table, and after that, whatever the subnets is like associated with that particular route table will have the internet connections. Okay, so just assume that you have two subnets, public subnet and private subnet. So for this public subnet, you should have the different route table. Private subnets, you should have the different route table. Okay, because this route table entries only will define that whether your subnet is public or private. Fine. So if you will give internet gateway entries, that particular route table, like your subnets which is associated with that, that will be your public subnets. Okay, that will get the public your internet gateway like internet connections. We will see that in hands on, so don't worry. So this is about your internet gateway. So NAT gateway and all we will discuss it later. First we'll see the hands on for this. Okay, so if you have any doubts, please let me know. If you have any confusions and all, please let me know. Okay. Okay, fine. So let me show few things here first on EC2. Okay, so when you were launching your EC2 instance, there you were using the default VPC. We'll see it now. Seriously, I just forgot to terminate it and it's been 2 days. Okay, so if you want to see its detail, you can see here the instance summary and here for the public IP address, it's 13.126.172.85. We will see it will match to your CIDR range of your uh, sorry, your VPC. Okay, so we'll see that. So here this is the VPC, that is the default VPC. Okay, so I have renamed it, that's why it is showing default hyphen VPC. Otherwise for you it will not show any other name. Okay, so when you will launch your instance, if you will see here in the network settings, if you will see, it will always take this default VPC. Because of this reason, it was not asking you for the VPC creation or something. Okay, so basically here if you will go to the VPC sections, let's go from here. Okay, okay. So this is your VPC dashboard. If you will see here, I have one VPC, 3 subnets. I have route tables. I have one. Because of this default VPC, I have these things. Okay. Now, let's go to this your VPC. Here you will be able to see one VPC is already there and its IPv4 range is 172.31.00. And if you will see its IP address here, it's also included. See, it is providing, it's giving you the public IP address. Okay, public IP, your sorry, private IP address, public IP address, it will be provided by the AWS itself. So if you will see here, 172.31.14.38. If you will see here, 172.31. Fine. So that is belongs to this particular VPC. Fine. So now, if you will see, if you want your own custom VPC, see, we already know that when we will connect it with via the internet, here you are connecting it via internet. Okay. So at the time, give. Fine. So when you will connect it with your servers, we are connecting it via internet, right? And we are able to connect it with this particular server. Why? Because we have internet connections. Okay, because this particular VPC have its own internet gateway. If you want to see it, this is the internet gateway which we have. Fine. So basically, this is default VPC created by AWS, have internet gateway, and it have created subnets for each of the availability zone, and different availability zone we have. See, one subnet is for 1A, one subnet is for the 1B, and one subnet is for 1C. Okay, so it's having many default settings. So please be clear, like you don't have to delete custom VPC. Fine. Let's now create the VPC. You don't have to create this default VPC. Okay, so let's now create the custom VPC. So click on create VPC. We are going to create the VPC. We need to give the VPC name as my VPC. If you don't want to select like calculate your CIDR range and all, whatever CIDR range I'm giving, just give the same CIDR range. Okay, for the VPC you have to give the CIDR range, this one. Fine. So let's give it and click on create VPC. That's it. What I have done, given the name and the CIDR range, I'm using IPv4 and then given the CIDR range here. Click on create VPC. Done. So here you have created the VPC. VPC ID is this, state is this, and block public access, it's off. Okay, but after this also we will be not able to, like, it's off. If you will on it at that time, your VPC will not assign the public IP address to any of the server. Okay, and it will not allow anyone to, like, it will not give like public access to any one of your server. Okay, whether if it like if it will be the public subnet or private subnets. So you have to edit it if you want that kind of privacy at that time. Okay, so we don't need all of those things. CIDR range, you can check it here. Okay, so tags and all, you can check it here. Flow logs, we don't have any. Okay, so many things are there. Let's see here. First, after creation of VPC, now you have created VPC. This is VPC. This is the CIDR range of this. Now, next thing you have to create, that is subnet. So here I'm going to create two subnets. If you have like three availability zone, if you want in 1A, 1B, you can select like this and you can create it. So what I want, I'm going to create here the two subnets. One is the public subnet and one is the private subnet, where I want to create in my VPC. Okay. So let's give here the subnet name. This one subnet, you can create multiple public subnet, you can create multiple private subnet. Okay. So availability zone, you can select. If you don't want, you can left it like this. It's a CIDR block for your VPC. Let's give here the CIDR range for your uh, subnets. So give here the 24. Okay. So this is your first subnet. So let's click on create subnets. The next subnets also will create in the same way. Select the VPC. Here I'm giving the subnet name as private subnet. Give you the CIDR range. I'm giving 10.0.1.0. Here you can change the second octet like 1, 2, 3 like that for your subnets. Okay. So /24. If you want one more subnet, give here 10.0.2.0. For another one, give 10.0.3.0 like that. Okay. So click on create. So now here we have created two subnets as well. Okay. And next thing is that for the public subnets, I want to assign the public IP address automatically. Okay. So for this, we need to do some modifications. See, for private subnet, we don't want public IP address, but for the public subnet, we need public IP address, right? So for this, you need to do some modifications. Go to the action, and here you need to edit the subnet settings, and here you need to enable auto assign public IPv4 address. So if you will do this, it will automatically assign public IP address within within this subnet. Okay. So now here we have specified it is a public subnet, it's a private subnet. Okay. I have only given the name. Now both have the same configurations. Okay. So we need to create two route table. If you will see here, I have two route table already. One is default route. It's a like it is for the default VPC, and this is for the my VPC. Okay. So already one main route table is there with the default routing systems, like within this VPC, each and every appliances can communicate with each other. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use this same route table, because for public I should have the different route table, and for private I should have the different route table. So I'm going to create here the two route table. One route table's name I'm giving public route. Okay, let's create it. My VPC, click on create route table. So what I will do, for the public route table, I will give the subnet association. So I will edit the subnet association, and I will add this public subnet. With this, I will associate public subnet with this public route table. So it's done. Next thing what we will do, we will we will create the private route table. Okay, so let's click on create private route table, give the name, give the VPC name. Okay, and then click on create subnet association, edit subnet association, edit the private subnets. Done. Fine, this is done. If you want to see for the public subnets, we have, sorry, for the public route, we have public subnets here. For the private route, we have private subnets here. Okay, but as of now, both the routes are same. It means that both are private. If you will see, it's also route is local only, means locally it can communicate, and for the private also, it's, if you will see, it's a local only, means locally it can communicate. Okay, now let's go to the EC2. We will launch here the two server. Let me terminate this first. Okay, so I'm going to launch here the two servers. One I will launch in public subnet, one I will launch in private subnet. Okay, so let's launch it. So public subnet server, I'm giving its name as public server. Taking this Amazon Linux only, T2 micro is enough. And then I'm taking this key pair, this key one, and let's edit this network settings. So here you have to select which subnet you want. So which VPC you want. So I'm selecting my VPC. Which subnet you want? I want it public subnet because it's my public server. So now if you will see here, auto assign public IP addresses enable. Why? Because I have made some changes. If you will do this, it's disable, right? Because there only I have done some changes. And if you will not do changes there, you have to enable disable here manually. Fine. Security group, you can do it according to your need. And the same, only these two things you have to change and launch the instance. Sorry. Fine. So my public subnets, public server has been launched. Next time we will launch here the private server. So let's launch private server. It will be on your private subnet. So let's take it. See here, I will select here the my VPC and select here the private subnets. So I will not enable my public IP assign here. Why? Because if we will provide the public IP address, that then the risk will be there, right? If someone will get the public IP address, they can access my server. But I don't want to give access to anyone. That's why I'm creating the public in this particular server in private subnet, right? So we will not assign the public IP address here. Okay, launch the instance. So it's done. Now, if you will see, both the servers are there, private server and public server. Let's try to connect with this. Whether you can use your mobile external, otherwise you also can use your direct connect. So let's try it with the direct connect itself. It's saying like instance is not in public subnet. Okay, let's try to connect it. Why? Because the instance is saying it's not in a public subnet. Because now I have created two subnets, but both the subnets are private itself. Why? Because we don't have the internet connections. So we should, if you want internet connections, you have to click on create internet gateway. Okay. So create the internet gateway here. Give the name. I have created it. Click on create. After creating your internet gateway, you also have to attach it with the VPC. It's in detached mode. So action attach to VPC and select your VPC here. Attach internet gateway. Now internet gateway has been attached, but after here, okay, this is the different things I think. Okay, system will be power off. I think it's the previous one. Okay, so here if you will refresh it again, it will show that you will not have the internet connections. I have attached internet gateway, but I not have told my router that this is the internet gateway path, right? So how the subnets, how my public subnet will get to know that it has internet connection, right? So basically in the route table we need to give entries for that. So where we will give in public route. Why? Because my public subnet is associated with this. Okay, if we will give internet connection with the private route, then your private subnets will become public. Okay, so we will not do that. So basically public route table, go to the routes, added the routes here, add routes. If you want it from anywhere, give it this. If you want the request from the specific CIDR range, you have to specify that. Here you have to select it, internet gateway. Here you have to select the internet gateway and save the changes. Now this particular server is public server. Now if you will refresh it, it will work. It will get connect. Okay, so see this. Now you are able to connect it. Okay, so now if you don't have the internet connections, you will be not able to connect with your instance via internet. Okay, Next thing, it's my private server. Let's see how we can connect with this private server, right? So let's connect it with this. It doesn't have the IP address, public IP address. It also does not have the, it's not in a public subnet. If you will see, the connection of connect option is only not there. Why? Because of this public IP address. So it's very secure instance. No one can access it because we don't have public IP address. We don't have any internet connections. But see, if you will deploy our applications there, just assume that you want to make some changes or changes in that application. Your code file majorly in private servers will deploy our applications, like all the code files and all, right? So that no one can no one can see my code, no one can take my code and see. We'll always deploy it in secure manners. If someone will take my code, they can make their own applications, right? So we don't want that kind of breach and all, right? So at, because of that reason, we'll always deploy our application in private subnets. Okay, and we'll never deploy our applications on public subnet. This you have to remember. So here now, how we will do some modification if we want to do in our private subnets. Just assume that I want to create some file, I want to modify some files. How we will do that, right? So at that time, as we already know that within one VPC, each of the server can communicate with each other, right? So all VPC, like all the servers in one VPC, whether it is present in different subnets, it can communicate with each other. So now I have a public server, and the public server have the internet connections. So I have connected with this public server, right? So now this public server will have the access of private server. So what I can do, you know that it's a Linux, so we can do SSH and we can connect with my private server, right? But for this SSH, what are the things we need? We need key pair. And in my case, my key pair is key1.pem. This I should have if I want to connect with private server, right? So public server have access of private server, but for this also, for to log in with this, it should have this particular username and password key pair. Fine. So basically, if you want to connect with any of the private server, you should have one proxy public server. In real time, what we do, uh, always if you will have any like if you will deploy your application on private server, right? And if you want to do any modifications there, you have to create one server, one public server you will create, like one server in public subnet, and that will always call it as a proxy server. Okay, so using that server you will connect with your private server, do the modifications, and then terminate the public server. It's like that. Okay, so in real time always will work like that. So let's see how we can connect with the private server through this via this public server, right? So for this, we need something key1.pem, my key pair. So basically, let's see
Nikita,
here. We already, sorry.
just have a quick question.
Hmm.
After the connection, we will be terminating our proxy server or the public server.
Public server only, it's a proxy server. Okay.
Okay,
So because public server will not do like will don't not work anything there. Okay, will not deploy anything there.
correct.
And if you will keep your public servers, so how you have connected with the private server, that person also can connect with the private server, right? Anyone can install your codes. So to make it private, to make it secure, will always delete the proxy servers.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. So let's see. This is my public server, right? So what I will do, I will do the SSH connections with my private server here. You know that how to do the SSH connections. You already know and learned it in Linux session, I think. Okay, so directly you can use SSH hyphen I key.pem, and the same way we how we connected with our via like using our CMD, right? So that same command here, you can get the command here. Mm, sorry, not here, SSH client. Here you can get the command. If you will use this command, see this is the private IP address of this. So you can use this command and you can connect with this. From CMD, we have used the public IP address, and here we are using private IP address. But if you will do it, it will show permission denied. Why? Because you don't have here the key file. Okay, so you should have your key1.pem, that the key pair, then only you will be able to access that. Okay, so let's check. It's my key pair. Let's open it. Let's copy the content. What I want, see, you can move the file using FTP and all, right? So I am simply what I'm doing. I'm creating here the file that is key1.pem. Okay, the same name, with the same name I'm creating one file and copying the content, which content I had there, right? The encrypted one. I just have copied it and just save it. After this, if you will do this ls-l, you will get this key1.pem. But one more thing is there, that all the users have here the read permission. And as it's a credential file, you should not give read permissions also to anyone, right? So what I will do, I will change its permissions. I'm giving 600, so that honor will have the permissions to read and write. Other user and group does not have any permissions. Okay, so let's give the your file name. It's done. Now if you will do the ls-l, only the honor have read and write permissions. Fine. So you must have to change it, otherwise it's not secure. Okay, and anyone can see it. Even your machine, Linux machine, will not allow you. Even your EC2 instance will not allow you to use that key pair. Okay, so the same thing, same command, you must have to use this. You will get it from here itself, from SSH client. Enter it. If you will see here, now it's inside 10 uh sorry 1 and 59. It's the IP address of your private server. So now if you will do ls, and this is now my private server. Okay, let me create this file one, ls. So let's check whether it has the internet connection and all. Okay, so let's check it, google.com. Okay, if you will see here, you know that ping command will always, like, it's used to check the connectivity. Okay, so here if you will see 100% packet loss, it means that my server is not able to connect with the google.com. It means that it does not have the internet connections. Okay, so let's click on exit. Now if you will run the command exit, again it comes to this 240, means it's the public server. Okay, now if you will run here the command ping, let's run the command ping and then google.com. If you will run the command here, it will work. See, if you will see here, 4 packet transmitted, 4 received, and 0% packet loss. It means that this particular server get connected with the google.com properly. Okay, so this have the internet connections and the private server does not have internet connections. This is proved here. Fine. So this is how you can create your VPC. This is how you can create your public subnet and private subnets. It's and within public subnets, if you will create your server, that will have the internet connections. Within private server, if you will create your, sorry, within private subnets, if you will create your servers, that will be that will not have the internet connections. And if you want to connect with your private server, at that time you always need to go through the public servers. Okay, so and how you will do using this SSH, you can do it, and you should have the key pair first. Then only you can connect it with your private server. Okay, so anyone have any doubts till now?
No.
Okay.
If possible,
Okay.
will you please give us 5 or 10 minutes of break if possible?
Yes, yes, I'm giving now only for this hands-on if you want. Okay,
No, no, I
so
was
I'm
asking. Okay, please.
asking for the break.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if I will give break, many people will leave the session and they will not join it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the issue. Okay, so
All right.
everyone want break? I don't think.
Because Loksai used to give us break in every session for 10 minutes.
Okay, before, right? Because it's
Yeah,
a 2 hour session, right? So I also like trainer also
it's
get
sad, I
like
know.
that, yeah, throat pain and all. I generally I
Exactly.
get it. Okay, so that's why we need to give the break. But mostly the peoples, I think they leave the session early, right? So that's why I don't give break.
No,
You can
after
ask
So
Ayaz.
after
fine.
1 hour, you can give a 5 minutes break at least.
by using
Okay, it's
timer.
fine. Otherwise, I always give break like for the hands-on, right? So is that
Yeah.
fine? Like I will give the break for hands-on, like I have given already in other sessions, right?
And
Basically, this VPC topic, the introduction part was more right. So otherwise, for the hands-on, I always give the break. That's count like a break only, right?
yeah, correct.
Okay. So you can do now the hands-on because this is the basic hands-on which we have done. VPC for VPC, we have other components. We will discuss that. Okay. So you can take 10 to 15 minutes now. Fine.
Yeah, enough.
Okay.
More than
Then
enough.
practice it, and I think you will also get the 5 minutes break in between that.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Okay, fine then. Let me know if you will have any doubts.
Yeah, Vasali, actually, it's not work like a storage, okay? So basically, like when you want to deploy our application, majorly we'll use AMI or some image we'll use, okay?
Okay.
Like we will do one project related to this, okay? So first we'll deploy our application on public and we'll create AMI from that and then we'll delete that particular and that using that AMI we will create servers in our private subnets, okay? So
Okay.
we'll do the project related to this, so don't worry.
Okay, then only by using a AMI, we can deploy a project in private subnet, right?
Yes, we'll do that and privately we will use something called ECS and all, right? Those things also we can use as well as like ECS, if you will use ECS to manage your EC2 instance, right? That's the DevOps concept. Okay, so in that case, you will use the ECR like your container image and all. So many things are there that you can do to deploy your applications on private servers. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
We will do the project. Don't worry. Fine. Now just practice it, whatever we are doing. The same thing we will do in project and I will explain many things there.
Okay, fine.
We will include also all the service in like with the VPC itself. Okay. So is it done, guys? Practice and break both done, right? Hello. Is it done? Are you guys there?
Can.
Yeah.
Everyone done, right? Okay. Okay, Gaurav, Abhi, or Trupti. I think it's the new name I'm seeing now. So everyone done, right? Fine. So this is the basic things, how to create VPC, how to create subnets, okay, and how to create the route tables. Next thing is that we will see here the NAT gateway. Okay, so here we can see few things, types of IP we already know. Route tables we have seen, internet gateway we have seen. And here we have the NAT gateway. Okay, so here we have two gateways like let me show you from here. Okay, so here NAT stand for your network address translation gateway. Okay, so what's it exactly it will do? So NAT will give the internet connections for the private servers. Okay, so now you will see it like we were not giving internet connections so that to make it private or secure, right? So basically NAT gateway will provide the internet connections for your private service. Just why we need this? Just assume that you want to install something in your private server. Okay, so just assume that you have already have configured many things, you have deployed our applications in your private server, but what if you want to install some patches on that, right? So at that time you need internet connections, right? So in that case, your NAT will help you. So here we have NAT gateway and NAT instance. Okay, so 1 minute. Here you have NAT instance and your NAT gateway. Okay, NAT instance means you will have one instance there, you will install some components called NAT and all, okay, and then that will work like a NAT gateway itself, means that will allow you internet connections for your private servers, private subnet servers. Okay, so NAT gateway work is also the same, like both work is same. NAT gateway, NAT instance work is same. Both will allow your particular servers to your private servers to get internet. Okay, so how it will work, let me explain you, let me give you some examples here. Just assume that in your home you have two rooms. Okay, so I'm simply giving you one example. Okay, there is two room in one home. In one house there is two room. So one is the public room and one is the private room. Just assume that the left one is the public one, this is the public one, and this is the private one. Okay, and one more thing is that the people who is living in public room, they are allowed to go to the market and purchase the things. Okay, they are allowed to go outside. But here we have the private room. Private room people does not allow, like they are not allowed to go outside. Okay, they can communicate with the public room persons, but they cannot go outside. Okay, so in such case, what if these private peoples want something from the market? Just like that, if they want something, if this private server wants some patches to be installed, so in that case, it need internet connections, right? What if these persons need some things from market? Okay, market means internet, just assume like that. Okay, so In that case, what we will keep one agent. So where we will keep agent? The agent who will help your private peoples to bring the things from internet. Okay, so where we will keep the agents? In public subnet or private subnet? In public room or private room? It should be in public room. Why? Because this agent should have the access. This agent should be allowed to go to the market. Then only it can help these private peoples, right? So here, what we need an agent who will go to the market and bring the things for us, for the private peoples. Fine. So this agent is nothing but it's a NAT gateway. It's a NAT gateway. Okay. So what this NAT gateway majorly work is, this will provide internet connections. Just assume that what I want, I am inside this server and I want to install something. So for that, I want internet connections. So in that case, what I will do, I can bring the things from internet, but that is one-way communication with the internet. Okay, if anyone want to access my server via internet through this NAT gateway, it is not possible. Okay, so basically what this NAT gateway will do, NAT gateway will have the public IP address. See, it's possible to access it from NAT gateway. So, but this NAT gateway will it will keep your private servers very secure. Okay, like anyone from outside, anyone cannot access your private server directly. Why? Because this NAT gateway will have one IP address, one static IP address, that is the elastic IP address. See, one more thing is that whenever this private server want to access internet, it doesn't have its public IP address. And if does not have the public IP address, how it can communicate, how it can connect with the internet, right? So it should have one public IP address to connect with this. So what this NAT gateway will do, NAT gateway will also assign the public IP address to each of the requests. Okay, so the person from outside, they will not get the exactly what is the IP address of these private servers. So they will be not able to hack these servers at all. Okay, so basically, if you will see here, how the NAT gateway will provide the IP address, NAT gateway, whenever we'll create the NAT gateway, we will give one elastic IP address. We'll assign one elastic IP to this. We will assign one elastic IP to this NAT gateway. Okay, so this elastic IP, it will be the public IP. Whenever the private server want to access internet, the request will goes to this NAT gateway, and this NAT gateway will assign this elastic IP address to that particular server, and it will send it to the internet. And whatever it required, it will bring those things from the internet and it will update these servers. Okay, so NAT gateway will provide the internet connections to your private servers, and it will be the one-way connections, because it will not reveal the address of these servers. Clear? So this is how it will work. And one more thing is that you will create the NAT gateway in public server. Okay, but in which route table we will define the path of NAT gateway, in public or private? Where we should define the path of our NAT gateway, in public route table or private route table? If you understood this particular examples, then you should answer this. No one is saying anything. Audible, right? Sorry?
Audible.
1 minute. I think your voice is not audible to me. Give me a second.
It's audible.
Yes, now it's audible. Actually, my laptop speaker is very low. Fine. Tell me in which subnet we should which route table we should add it. We should specify the path of NAT gateway. Just like for internet gateway, we have given the path to a public route table, right?
Private.
Yes, to private. So that we will say to the private servers that this is the NAT gateway and it is located at this location. So now if you want anything, if you want to connect with the internet gateway, then you have to send the request to NAT gateway, not to the internet. And through the NAT gateway, this will goes to internet. Okay, so let's see here what we'll do here. If you will say this internet, if you will connect with your let's again connect with your private server. This is again my private server, right? And if I will do here the ping google.com, it's not connecting. Why? Because it doesn't have the internet connections, 100% packet loss. Fine. What I'm doing here, I want to give internet connections for my private server. So for this, we need NAT gateway. So let's go to this NAT gateway and let's create one NAT gateway. Okay. Okay, so give the name. I need NAT gateway. Here you have to select the subnets. So where I want to create it in public subnet, not in a private subnet. And connectivity type is public. And here you need to allocate the elastic IP. So click on allocate elastic IP. It will allocate it, and click on create NAT gateway. So this is how you have to create the NAT gateway. Then you don't need to do anything. You have to define the route table. So let's go to the route and we need to edit the private route table. So here in route, just click on edit route, add the routes, and here you can specify some specific path for your VPC. Like here you can provide the VPC ID range and all. I just given all IP. Okay, NAT gateway. Select the here the NAT gateway and save the changes. It's done. Now I am connected with the private server itself. If I will do the ping google.com, it should work. First, let's see if NAT gateway is available or not. Okay, because it was pending. So still it's pending. Okay, when it will be active, then only it will work. So wait for some time. It will be active for after some time. Okay, so after NAT gateway, we have few things to discuss about the network ACL, security groups, and the VPN. Okay, so these are the things which we will discuss in VPC. So few things is left here. Let me show here. After NAT gateway, we have security group, NACL, and the VPC peering. VPC peering and VPN. These things are important. Okay, so these are the topics which we are going to cover in VPC. Okay, now it's available. See, now it's pinging, right? So it means that now it's sending the package. It means that now it's get connected with your google.com. It means that it have the internet connections. Fine. But after this also, if you will have, you don't have any public IP address here, you don't have any public connectivity here, so no one will be able to access it from outside. No one will be able to connect with my server from outside. Fine. So this is how it works. This NAT gateway will work. So instead of this NAT gateway, you also can launch one instance here. Okay. But for this, many things are there. As of now, we don't have any specific NAT AMI. Okay. So you have to search for the NAT AMI here for this, for launching your NAT instance. So majorly we will use the NAT gateway itself. Will not use NAT instance in real time. Okay. So you can search for NAT. You will get it in community AMI. So you can use this AMI and you can create your NAT instance. In the same way, you have to specify here the route table. Okay. So that NAT instance you have to launch in public subnet. Okay. And here in route table, how you will specify if you will have the NAT instance, give the path. And after giving here the path, you have to select here the NAT instance instead of NAT gateway instance. Okay, here you have to select instance and NAT instance you have to select here. It's like that. Okay. So basically that will work. You can select. Okay. Still it's loading. Fine. Buckets, I think I haven't deleted. Fine. So basically this NAT instance will work like this. Next we have VPC peering and like peering connections. We have VPN and we have something NACL security groups, all of those things. So whatever we will discuss in VPC, that will be more than enough for your examination. And if you want to go for certification, that is also for that also it's more than that. Okay. So more than enough for preparing for your examinations as well. Even for the experienced candidate, if you want to go, this is only the things which we will use in VPC. But if you will have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, and please revise this topic and please try with this, because please try the hands-on, because we will do the projects related to this as well. Okay, fine. So anyone have any questions? See, one more thing is that when you want to delete your like if you want to delete your instance at that time, sorry, your VPC, first of all you need to terminate your instance. When your instance will be terminated, then only you can delete your VPC. Okay, so after terminating your instance, if you want to delete VPC, don't delete it separately like all the subnets, route tables and all. Okay, only the NAT gateway you have to delete separately, and you only have to like release your elastic IP address. Please don't forget to delete the elastic IP, sorry, release the elastic IP address. Okay, because it will charge. So delete the NAT
Okay.
gateway. After sometimes it will be deleted. Then release your elastic IP address from here. Otherwise, you can also get it on EC2. You will get it and you can delete it. And after deleting the NAT gateway and your servers, you directly can delete this VPC from here. So when you will delete the VPC, as of now it is there, right? That's why it's not deleting it. But when those things will be terminated, automatically it will delete. When you will delete VPC, automatically it will delete the route table, subnets, everything, internet gateway. Okay, all of these things it will get deleted automatically. Fine. So as of now, it's also in term like it's terminated, but the NAT gateway, I think it's not terminated yet. NAT gateway always it will take some time deleting, right? So after this NAT gateway, you can delete this. Fine. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any doubt. Anyone have any doubts? Okay, guys, so please practice it, okay? Because few only we left with I think 6, 7 more classes are there, and the next topics are the small topics we will cover in one class. We will cover 2 topics. It's like that, okay? Okay. In assignments, you have to write all the definitions, okay? Whatever the questions I have mentioned here, right? What is IP address? What is types of IP? Okay, sorry, I not have shared my screen, right? Let me share it. Okay, fine. So what you have to do, you have to first write what is IP address, types of IP address, classes of IP address. Like, don't write in a paragraph. Okay, so please write a small definitions for this, and what is CIDR range, how to do, what is subnetting, and how to do the subnetting. You can take one example and you can show how you are calculating it. Okay, that's it. So you only have to do these things. You can write it in text file, you can write it in word file, and even if you want to write it in your notebook, you can write it. And please create a PDF and send it. And please don't write paragraphs. Okay, for the calculation, if you are doing the calculation, it don't need to explain each and every points, just like unlike you do in maths. Okay, you only need to show the calculations and the number of subnets which you are calculating with that IP address. Okay, so those things only, and small definitions. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so do it tomorrow. I will let you know where to send it. Fine.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, everyone done with the poll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then you can leave. Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Sachin and Pradeep, do you guys have any doubt?
No, Nikita, actually, just forgot to exit.
Okay, fine.